All right, so last time we talked and learned about how do you like add numbers together, combine like terms. And so we said that what the rule for that was that letters go with letters and numbers go with numbers, okay? So today we're going to introduce in this thing called the distributive property. And what that means is that you're going to multiply what is to the left of the parentheses with everything on the inside. So if I look at this question, all of a sudden I'm seeing that there's these little parentheses right there. Those little curvy things, those are parentheses, okay? And anytime I see parentheses, in my mind, that's telling me I need to multiply. Okay, so why do we have the parentheses and not just like the multiply sign? Well, because the multiply sign you use when you're only multiplying two numbers together. And in this example, I'm not just multiplying two numbers, I'm multiplying several things by the same number. That's why there's the parentheses there. So when it says what is to the left of the parentheses, so here's my parentheses. My first one, I look immediately to the left. What number is this? Well, that's the number that you're going to multiply with everything in there, not just the first thing. So what I like to do is I take that number and I write it above everything in here so I don't forget what I'm supposed to be multiplying by. So since it's a 5, I'm going to put a 5 over the 4x, and I'm putting a 5 over the positive 3. And I'm going to be multiplying these separately. So I draw the little line to separate, okay? So once I put that 5 up there, I don't need to look at it in here anymore, so usually I just cross that out. So here we go. I'm doing 5 times 4x. Well, you do the number times the number. 5 times 4 is 20. So I'm going to put 20. No letter times a letter. Like the 5 doesn't have a letter. There's only the x, so I'm going to put an x with the 20. Okay? But I also have this 3. Okay? So now I'm going to do 5 times positive 3. 5 times positive 3 is 15. Were there any letters? No letter means no letter next to the 15. I do have to put a plus or minus sign in between our 20x and 15, just like when we were combining like terms. I got it, like right now I have to have a plus or minus sign so I know these are different numbers. 15 is positive, so I'm going to put a 15 in between. Can I add these together? Like, can I combine like terms? No, because this has an x. 15 does not. So that means this is final answer. That is what you get after you multiply everything on the inside by 5. Let's look at the next one. Over here, I see there's parentheses, so I know that means I'm going to end up multiplying. But are all of the numbers in here inside the parentheses? No, I have this 12 hanging out here. And that 12, that's not going to get multiplied because it's not on the inside of the parentheses. Okay, on the inside I have a 4x and I have a negative 3. So I'm going to separate them just like I did on the last one so I don't accidentally mix them together. And what number am I going to multiply? Well, what's to the left of the parentheses? Well, here's the parentheses. Here's the number. What sign is with that number is a negative. So I'm not just multiplying by 5 this time. I'm multiplying by negative 5. So that's what I'm going to write over the two numbers. I'm going to do times negative 5 times negative 5 to both of those things. And now I can cross off in my box because I don't want to accidentally bring that down. That would be bad. So now I'm doing negative 5 times 4. You type that in decimals, you get negative 20. No letter with 5 times a letter with that means there's going to be one letter, an x. So that was multiplying the first one. The second one, I have negative 5 times negative 3. If you type that in decimals, you get positive 15. And what sign am I going to put in between, a plus or a minus? Well, I got a positive 15, so I'm going to put a plus on the inside. But what's happening with this 12? Am I multiplying times the 12? No, because it's not on the inside of the parentheses. So what am I going to do with that? Well, I'm just going to bring that down because that was not part of the multiplying, but it doesn't mean it's not still there. So now that I have all of these numbers, can I add any of them together? Yes, I can. Which ones go together? Follow the rules. Letters go with letters, numbers go with numbers. Well, are there any other things with x's? No. So this is just part of my answer, negative 20x. That's going to be in my final answer. But I can see that a positive 15 and positive 12, yeah, they go together. Let's add them. What is positive 15 plus 12? Well, that turns into a 27. And that is my answer. Okay, so sometimes, like, you're not just going to do the parentheses and then stop. Okay, sometimes you have to, I do the parentheses and then I have to still do my combined like terms. Let's look at two more examples. So in this third one, oh my goodness. How many sets of parentheses are there? Well, I see there's one for here, okay, but then I see another set of parentheses over here. Oh my goodness. So that just means we're going to multiply twice. Am I going to multiply by the same number every time? No, because they have different numbers in front of the parentheses. So in front of the red parentheses, I have a 2. So that means I'm going to split this up right there, and I'm going to do times 2 times 2. And my other parentheses, what's the number in front is this positive 3. So I'm going to split this one up right there. And I'm going to do times 3 times 3. So here we go. Let's look at the multiplying by 2 one. So when I'm doing this one, I'm not bringing this down, so I cross that out. 2 times x, well, I have to do 2 times a number. What number is with this x? Well, that's a 1, an invisible 1. We know that. So 2 times 1 is 2. No x's, 1x means there will be an x with this number. Over here, 2 times negative 1, when I type that in decimals, tells me negative 2. Okay. Great, that was me multiplying the first one. Red one's done. Purple one, I'm multiplying by a different number because that was a different number in front of the purple parentheses. So we're doing 3 times 1. You type that in is 3. I have to put a sign in between. Remember, am I going to put a plus or minus sign? Well, I just got a positive 3. So I put a plus sign in the middle. And then positive 3 times x, again, that has an invisible 1 in the front. So 3 times positive 1 is 3. Positive 3, so what sign do I put in there? A plus sign. And then no x's times an x means there will be an x right there. And then am I done? No, because there's a lot of numbers. I got to find out, can I combine any of them together? So right here I have a 2x. Well, which out of these can I add with 2x? Well, what else has an x? This last thing over there has a 3x, so we're going to add those together. 2x plus 3x is 5x. 2 plus 3 is 5. What else can we add together? We have a negative 2 plus 3. They're both regular numbers, so we're going to do negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. So I have 5x and then a 1. And what sign am I going to put in the middle? A positive. So final answer, I can write it down here. Final answer is 5x plus 1. Okay. When there's several parentheses, that just means you're going to multiply several times. And the last one over here, again, I'm seeing there's multiple parentheses. So what am I going to multiply into the first set of parentheses? Well, what's the number in the front? I see my parentheses to the left. That's a negative 2. So I'm going to split it up with my two numbers. So I'm going to do negative 2 times 4a and negative 2 times negative 1. What's in front of my second set of parentheses? What number's in front of that? Well, usually we'd be looking right here. What number is that? It's a negative sign, but that really means it's negative 1. Okay, so when I multiply into this second parentheses, I'm going to do times negative 1 times negative 1. All right, let's multiply. So I'm crossing this out. I have negative 2 times 4. I type that in decimals is negative 8. No letter A means that there's going to be one letter in there. And then negative 2 times negative 1, when you type that in decimals, you're going to get positive 2. No letter means no letter in my answer. So red parentheses are done. This is what you get. Purple parentheses, I'm doing negative 1 times positive 2 is negative 2. No A with the negative 1, and A with the 2 means I'm going to have an A in my answer. And negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. You see how I put that plus sign in the middle. And then I'm checking, can I add any of these things together? Well, I can see I have a negative 8A. Does anything else in here have an A? Yes, negative 2A. So let's add those together. Negative 8 plus negative 2 is negative 10A. And then I'm checking positive 2 plus 1. So let's add those together. 2 plus 1 is 3. What sign do I put in the middle? Got to be a plus sign because it's a positive 3. Final answer. Okay, if you need to go back and like re-watch part of that again, make sure you do that before you start the practice questions.